Hello everyone, I am Heather with R-Rated Reviews, and this is a review more like it's going to be a bitch session, and it's definitely going to be R-rated. And so what we have today is this is more like a rant on the kind of idiots that we have running our state, which is New York. So it's not so much about brand, because what I have here is an older can of PPG paint. It's an old metal can, and PPG paint's good. I like it. It's what the red accent wall in the kitchen was with. And I have Behr. The Behr's great paint too. I mean, we're not talking about, brands necessarily, so to speak. It's not like we have Valspar here. That ain't happening. I'd rather color my walls with crayon before I would use Valspar paint. My point is, it's a metal can. And it doesn't matter how much I get all over the rim and the edges of it. You just tap it back in place. And no matter how much paint gets in there, the can lid still goes back on. But because we're in New York, we now have to switch to plastic paint cans. Plastic paint cans. I don't understand why. It makes no sense. So my point is, we have these plastic cans now. And I'm going to digress for a minute here. In New York, we can't have plastic bags. They've been outlawed. Bad for the environment. Plastic bad. I mean, if you get a bottle of water, which you won't see me with because I hate water, the caps are like this big now. I mean, less plastic. We can't have any plastic. So we can't have plastic bags. But now we have entire cans of paint with plastic. Except if you get any paint in the rim, the lid doesn't close. And you can bang the fuck out of this thing all you want, and it still won't close. So now I gotta scrape out all the paint from touching up a wall and pouring it into a tray. I gotta scrape it all out in order for this thing to go back on. Nope. No. Who opens a paint can with their fingers? I mean, you need like a fucking pry bar to get these fucking cans open. So here's the thing. In order to stop the paint from leaking into the seams of these things, what do you have to do? Now you have to buy those cute little seal things that you put in the edge and it pours the paint out, and they're made of plastic. And all this stuff, the drop cloths, it's all plastic. But we can't have plastic bags because that's bad for the environment. Now let me explain that one. So plastic bags, now we have to go back to paper, which I believe when I was a little kid, it was paper, but that was bad because we were cutting too many trees down, so we had to go to plastic. Now we're back to paper because plastic bad. So we can't have plastic bags from the grocery store, which I would get like 10, 20 bags every time I would go. And I didn't throw them away. I mean, who doesn't have one of those plastic bag holders in their house? You stuff them in there. I use those things for everything. They got recycled to death. I used to use them to pick up dog poop in my backyard. I used them, I'd put a bunch of them at the bottom of all the waste paper cans in my house, and then I would put one on top, and then when I emptied the garbage, I would tie it up, and then I would grab another bag from the bottom. I used them as can liners all around my house. I have a waste paper basket in every single room, and some rooms have two. So now I can't have plastic bags. So what do I have to do? I have to buy plastic bags. They're available. They just don't give them to you for free anymore with your groceries. Now they got to go back to paper, and they charge you 5 cents a bag. That's ludicrous. It's ludicrous because Macy's doesn't charge for their paper bags, and Home Depot doesn't charge for their paper bags, but Wegmans, the grocery store, and Walmart, and all those other places you go food shopping, they charge you 5 cents a bag. So when they tell you it's the law, it's bullshit. They have an option of whether they want to charge you or not, because the other stores don't. Anyway, now I have to buy a cardboard box of plastic bags instead of recycling the ones that I used to use for free and recycle, because plastic bad. But you're gonna go switch all the fucking paint cans to plastic and then make me buy a plastic strip to put in the edge of the paint can so that the lid will actually fucking close. Who comes up with this shit? And I wonder, it's like, Is the guy in charge of making these laws and these rules like best friends with the guy who makes plastic paint cans and makes the little fucking rims that you put in here to pour the paint can out of? I mean, they're all obviously in bed together because none of this makes any sense whatsoever. How do you have a law against plastic bags, except I can buy a cardboard box, which now needs to be recycled, full of plastic bags? It's insane. But this was the dumbest thing. Whoever came up with this should just be shot. This is the stupidest thing ever. A plastic paint. Next we're gonna go back to plastic bags and you're gonna put my paint in a fucking 1 gallon Ziploc bag. You need a quart? Bring a quart bag. We'll just fill it. It'll be like the Slurpee machines at 7-Eleven. Just hold your quart bag or your gallon bag under the paint dispenser and we'll give it to you. You can Ziploc and take it home. Bullshit. All right, my rant is over now.